Hey, Francesca here. I'm sitting here in the river bottom in the majestic Ojai Valley. It is a beautiful evening right now, and I just wanted to share a recent experience I had at a music festival. It had 16,000 people there, lightning in a bottle up in downward of the Bay Area, but up north from where I am right now in Southern California. So I actually had a full-blown panic attack at this music festival. It was a combination of a couple different things. Not really knowing many people there was part of it. It was my first big music festival. I'm prone to panic and anxiety attacks. I've had them off and on my whole life. Many of you know I teach actually a 4-part workshop series with Charlita Erb on how to manage stress and anxiety and panic disorders. So that workshop comes from my personal experience with it. I've had panic attacks that have lasted days at a time. And yeah, I've gone maybe almost a year or so without having one, something like that. And so it just popped up. It was about a week and a half ago. There were 16,000 people there. I didn't really have any good friends there, maybe one or two or something, but not really. A lot of you know that I'm sober, and so a lot of people around me were drinking, they were using drugs, all this sort of thing as well. And so what happened was there was all that going on. There were a ton of people going on. I was camped out. There were a bunch of tents around me, a bunch of people camping around me. There was music going on probably about like 21, 22, 23 hours a day. There was a few hours in the wee hours of the morning where there was no music, and not just like music, but it was this deep bass that was just constantly going and going and going. And so if your nervous system is sensitive like mine, you know what I mean. And just after days of that. So I was at this festival for 8 days total. The panic attack happened on maybe the 5th or 6th day. I went early to help set up, stayed late to help break down. And so the final tipping point, on top of all these other stressors, this being a new experience, all these people around, the music, I was also working. So that was a stressor as well. Just another element, I guess, not really a stressor, but just another element. So my fanny pack, my beloved fanny pack that I bought at Venice Beach for $20 with my phone, my iPhone, which I'm recording on right now, and all of my keys, the keys to my car, the keys to my house, all my keys got misplaced. I didn't misplace it. I don't think I did. It doesn't really matter what happens, what happened to it, but anyway, I did end up getting it back. That's not the point of this video to go into that. The point of this video is to explain to you what happened with the panic attack, how I worked through it, what I did, and that I survived it, and you can survive it too. So what had happened was, here's our base level, something like this, right? And then with all the stressors, I started kind of getting up like this. Okay, I'm feeling a little more anxious. My skin is crawling a little, but I'm okay. I'm doing good. Okay. And then, okay, where's my fanny pack? Okay, it has my keys in it. It has my phone in it. Okay, don't freak out for a couple hours. Look for it. Shuffle through everything. Ask people. Let people know. Don't freak out. Okay, eat some food. Okay, a couple more hours go by, still don't have it. The reality starts sinking in. Okay, maybe my fanny pack is gone. Try to take some more time to be calm. Sat with a friend for a little while. That helped kind of ground down, relax a little bit. And then I realized, okay, I'm just exhausted right now. I'm overthinking. I'm all up in my head. I need to go lay down. I need to sleep. I was definitely operating on lack of sleep. If you go to festivals, like, it's inevitable. No matter how much good self-care you do, it's gonna happen. So I get to my tent. It's dusk. It's absolutely beautiful at that time. And I start spinning out. So I'm in my tent. It's starting to get dark. I'm a little hungry, not too hungry, and weather's starting to, the temperature's starting to drop. The weather's changing. So I'm in my tent, and I just start to cry. The cry wasn't because I didn't have the fanny pack and my keys and my phone and all that, you know, the stuff I needed to get home and all this. It wasn't so much because of that, because I had already kind of walked myself through a practice of non-attachment and had kind of dealt with that aspect of it. But just the accumulated stress of the entire festival, you know, it was a new experience. I was out of my element. I didn't know anyone there. A lot of people around me were using drugs and drinking, which is totally great, but I just don't do that. Just all of that. And then this was the final straw. And it was a big final straw. And so I started crying. And then the crying led to, okay, my nose is stuffed up now. Okay, oh, now I can't breathe. Okay, now I'm hyperventilating. Okay, now I'm freaking out. And it was about this point that I realized, Francesca, you're going down that road. You're starting to have a panic attack. And so that's the first thing I want to offer you is recognize that something's happening. If you can recognize it sooner than later that something's happening, sometimes that can help you maybe steer it in a new direction. So, okay, that didn't change it though at this point. So I start hyperventilating. I start, I'm on the ground in my tent. There's like my clothes and my, futon or whatever, my pillow, my blankets. And I start kind of like getting really disoriented, and like it's getting like darker and darker and darker this whole time. And I'm just like hyperventilating and I'm crying and like, like tears coming from my eyes and, all this. And I start freaking out, and I start thinking, okay, what am I going to do? I can't call anybody because I don't have my phone. I can't text anybody because I don't have my phone. I can't go on Facebook. I can't, do any of these things. I don't really know anybody here, much less anyone who's like trained or something to work with someone having a panic attack. Right now, I'm my own best resource, and everything that I know in myself and all the history that I've had with working with myself and other people with panic attacks and anxiety, I have to call on that right now. So that's one part of my brain trying to figure out what to do, and then the most of it is just freaking out and flipping out and having a meltdown. So for some reason I start to prepare to go out of my tent. I don't know why. I start like putting on other pants because I had shorts and like a shirt on because it was really hot, and I start like figuring out like what I'm gonna wear. And I notice, because there's a part of me that's like over here, right? It's like watching what's going on and trying to calm myself down and not spin out and make a whole dramatic scene of it and cause a whole big issue. So I start to like get dressed and put on some warmer clothes. And I notice that that's helping me. I'm redirecting my focus. I'm redirecting my energy, and I'm focusing on something else, something that has nothing to do with fanny pack and keys and phone and having no, seemingly no support, and, just being in this big, overwhelming space and environment. And so I'm like, that's interesting. Okay. So I had that little kind of pinhole, that little glimmer of, this isn't forever. This isn't going to kill me. I'm not dying, although it feels like you could die. So I'm not dying. I'm distracting myself right now. Okay, I'm going to be okay. So luckily I had the foresight to bring a big yoga bolster with me. So I had this big yoga bolster in my tent, and I decide that child's pose, basically just laying on the bolster with your knees on either side of it, is gonna be a nice position for me to be in right now, because I don't know what else to do. I don't want to go out of my tent. I'm surprised no one came into my tent. I was crying. I was making these, probably weird noises. I don't know. My nose is like all stuffed up. So I'm in child's pose. I like can't breathe through my nose. So I'm breathing in and out through my mouth. And I mean, forget trying to take deep breaths or anything at that point. It's really challenging if you're in the middle of a panic attack. So I'm, not necessarily sure that that's good advice, or actually advice that you could even take. But so I'm trying to breathe. I'm trying to pay attention to my breath. I'm in this position, and in child's pose on this yoga bolster. The sun's still going down. I have nice, comfy, warm clothes on. I have a blanket. I put the blanket over me. Next thing I know, I am asleep, I guess. I think I slept for about an hour, maybe an hour or two. The panic attack in total lasted maybe half an hour. I'm not really sure. Time is, really, really funny during these things. So I wake up, it's completely dark. Music is, still booming and going at this point. Totally normal. I don't know why I expected anything different. And I wake up, I'm exhausted. I want to just keep sleeping because I need a break. I want to hibernate and get in a hole and just not talk to anybody. But I can't do that because I'm hungry and I'm working right at this festival, so I need to pull myself together, go cover this shift at a place that I'm helping out at, and I have to pull myself together. And so I did. I got out of the tent. I went to go get some food. I shared with maybe 1, 2, 3 people, what was going on for me, saying I was feeling super just raw and just, vulnerable. I had a pounding headache at this point. The eating helped. But, the whole rest of the night, I just felt really off. I didn't feel centered. I didn't feel grounded. I didn't feel good. I knew just from experience that I was on the other side of this and that I had survived it. I had survived this panic attack on my own at this big music festival. And so that felt really nice. And I guess I just wanted to make this video because I am working on sharing my voice more, being more vulnerable, being more authentic, and sharing my experience more. I think that there will be some people that this video means nothing to. You can't relate to it, and that's absolutely fine. And then there's other people that will see this and you'll know me, or maybe you won't know me, I don't know. And you'll know, or something that, I do these workshop series on panic and stress and anxiety, and now here I'm sharing with you that I had a panic attack a week ago and this is how I dealt with it. I distracted myself. I got this little pinhole in my consciousness of this isn't going to last forever. I'm not dying. I laid down. I tried to breathe. I fell asleep. I exhausted myself. I didn't freak out. I wanted to make this video to share that these things happen to people. It doesn't mean that you're not doing a good job at managing your stress. It doesn't mean that you're bad or you're not, it doesn't mean anything. It just means that that's what's happening, and maybe you have more of a tendency than other people for stress or to panic or for anxiety. And I'm not sure. I think it's probably really different for everybody. And I know that in that moment, in those moments, however long it was when I was in the tent and I was in the thick of it and I was full on freaking the fuck out, didn't know what to do, all alone, no way to, there was nothing to do. I hope that, if you're ever in that type of situation, that maybe, I don't know, you remember this video and you remember that you're not alone, you're not the only one that this has happened to, and that somehow that brings you some sort of peace. In these moments when we're panicking, you never know what it is that can help bring you out of it, or what you'll learn from going through it. Like I said, this is crazy maybe, but I've had panic attacks that have lasted 2.5, 3 days before. And you don't quite realize what has happened until it's over, and you look back and you go, oh my God, it's Monday morning. What happened to my weekend? I just totally was up here the whole entire time. And it takes, a while to kind of get back down and ground yourself. So I want to be of a support to people. I want my experience to somehow be of use. I want to be of service to people. I want to help people. I want you to know that you aren't alone, and you're not crazy, and it's not weird what you're going through. And somehow just sharing it right now to this iPhone that I'm talking to right now, that's propped up on this rock, on this bench, looking over at these mountains. This is helping me as well. So I really appreciate you listening to the end of this video. Give you a quick view here of this amazing view that I'm looking at. And I hope that you have a very lovely rest of your day. I hope that this video brings you some sort of insight and peace, or maybe it was just entertaining for you, and that's okay too. I'm going to try to make some more videos like this and just share a little bit more about myself. And thank you again for listening. Okay.